You're now listening to 30 Minutes Inside Sports with Jonesy and Maciejko.
Pressure again, trying to get away, stumble, throws it home. Are you kidding me? What's happening?
The Edmonton Oilers, Stanley Cup champions, 1990.
McDavid, beautiful move, Stacchio, good ball, touchdown! Sensational!
Welcome to episode 0 of 30 Minutes Inside Sports with Maxwell Jones and Maciejko. Episode 0, it's just really a test episode, probably 10 minutes long. We're breaking down the Elks Labor Day rematch against the Stampeders. We're going to break into some top 10 and some hot takes. Jake, how you doing?
Not bad. How about you?
I've been pretty good. Still riding the high wave from the Elks win. You know, like to see the Stamps lose in that kind of fashion, get back, show them, give them a taste of their own medicine. So
An
that's always
absolute
good.
electric atmosphere on Saturday.
Yeah. It was. We were up top to start, but fourth quarter we moved down to the lower bowl, and you know it's really electric when everyone's kind of together instead of so spread out, and it got pretty loud. You know.
It was pretty busy too for
Yeah.
an Elks game this year. We haven't
Yeah,
seen the
I
greatest
really
for
think.
attendance.
Yeah, I really think the Trey Ford effect is really coming to place, bringing in lots more young fans, a lot more fans, and obviously I think the school year starting back up, especially for university. Lots of people from wherever coming back to go to the University of Alberta have
Of course,
really
yeah.
drawn in more crowds. Actually, the first time this year I've actually seen more than 10 people in the standing seats over in the
Really?
drinking area. Yeah.
That's great.
I counted about I think there's about the iced iced
Oh,
tea
the
one.
party deck? The party deck?
Yeah, the party
Yeah,
deck,
yeah,
the
yeah.
iced tea one. It was packed. It was full.
Mm-hmm.
And then
There have
the
to have been like
Coors
30
Light,
people.
yeah, the Coors Light one was, I mean, not as full, but it's still pretty packed. Really good for an Elks game.
Yeah, quite
And then
impressive.
yeah, it brought the electricity of Rough Riders game to Edmonton, so that was obviously really good for the team. Um, you know, Dean Faithful, he had an okay game. Um,
I mean, the game-winning kick makes up for it, right?
yeah, but really, you can't be missing extra points. Like
No.
that's not really acceptable in any league, really. I mean, high school, yeah, I get it, but it's a 20. How long's the kick? It's like 30 yards.
The game winner?
No, like the extra point.
I think it's 30 or 35.
Yeah, you can't be missing a 35-yard kick, extra point in any professional league, even
Mm-hmm.
college. That is unacceptable. So, I don't think we'll see any repercussions, especially as he got the game winner.
It was just the one though, and then he went and made 2 straight field goals, so
Yeah. But I mean, that's still unacceptable. But I think Edmonton will ride the high and not make any changes in kicker, and especially as he's a global player, it's kind of hard to fill another global player spot. So
that's just something you forget, something
yeah,
small.
yeah,
Um,
um,
Trey Ford, another thing.
yeah. I mean, you can't. Obviously, you throw 2 picks, not great. And actually, this is a crazy thing. They had 11 passing yards going into the fourth quarter.
That's
11.
that's crazy.
Like that, you should not have 11 passing yards. Obviously, really good running game, but still, 11 passing yards is not acceptable. I'm
It
gonna see what
was
he finished with.
23-7 going into the fourth quarter, so huge
Yeah,
comeback too.
really big comeback.
Even the rushing game you could tell was really starting to open
Yeah,
up with Kevin Brown.
yeah. I said he when he finds a lane, he can really take off. But
Especially
that's just keep
what
going.
was that, 2 games ago, 3 home games ago, where he first play of the game took that 80
Yeah,
yards? That
against
was
Winnipeg.
electric. Yeah,
Yeah,
Winnipeg, that's who they were playing.
really, it's just the O-line. Just if we can find one hole for the guy, he can just be an electric player. I mean, he fumbles the one. Unlucky.
Yeah,
I really saw that one as more of a size, and that was a hard hit he took.
yeah.
So I mean, that's acceptable, I guess. Like, we probably would have scored if the
Another thing
game
I've
was
been
not
really
as
impressed
close.
with. Another thing I've been really impressed with is our return game this year with CJ Sims.
Yeah, I mean, he's been having not as much success lately, just off. I haven't seen him getting too much for blocks, but like he can make space out of nothing, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep seeing him, kind of get crowded around, and he has nowhere to go. But
Yeah.
that's just really
He's
comes down, not even him. It's just
it's just
blocking
his size
and
even too.
yeah. I was on the field for warm ups, and he ran right past me. Man, I'm 5'7". He had maybe 2 inches on me. He was not very tall, like probably the same height as my dad, and he's a fairly short guy in terms of a fully grown man. So
Trey Ford went 14 for 22 for 173 yards and a passing touchdown.
173. So you go. So that's 162 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
That's good. That's a really good number. But if you look at what he's at right now, he's only thrown for how many touchdowns? Oh well, 6 touchdowns. Six
That's
touchdowns,
not
three
bad.
picks. And actually 3 picks is really good as he had two of those picks last game. So
Mm-hmm.
um obviously a really big improvement from Taylor Cornelius.
I think even putting the ball in his hands a little bit more to throw is important because he's had less
Yeah,
than like 175 passing yards the last few
yeah,
games.
yeah. And a guy like Jake Mayer who he's had a good couple like the last 2 games, he hasn't been too bad, but even
Mm-hmm.
he's been hitting 300 passing yards, and he's not that great of a quarterback if I'm going to be honest. Like, no offense
No,
to him,
I think he's
he
overrated.
he's not the kind of starter that is going to take you to the Grey Cup and win you a Grey Cup, or even maybe crack a NFL practice roster. Really, like I don't think.
No,
I
not
mean, Trey
really.
Ford could probably do it if he really put his mind to it. But
He's also young.
yeah, they're both. I mean, Jake Mayer's not too young, but they're both pretty
No.
young.
Yeah.
Um, they both have lots of time to improve. But yeah, all right.
Going
So
into next week, we've
yeah,
got Friday night under the lights at Mosaic against the Rough Riders.
coming off a low after a high.
Yeah.
Losing really badly, getting blown out by Winnipeg. I mean, I think I saw that coming. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, it's Winnipeg's blown through everyone this year.
Yeah.
51 to
I mean,
6 is a little extreme, but everyone's
yeah,
been blown out. And Winnipeg plays Hamilton next week, so week
yeah.
16, so the week after this. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, what's his name? The Rough Riders quarterback. He he definitely struggled. I don't know.
Is that
I didn't watch
Fajardo?
too much of that game. I kind of no, no, no. The backup here.
Oh,
I didn't watch too much of that game. I watched because obviously we had to get ready to go to the Elks game. But
mm-hmm,
from the 10 plays I watched of him on offense, you could tell, and just off the score, it was not his night.
mm-hmm.
It was not his time to shine. So obviously that's gonna be a tough matchup for the Elks. He's gonna be their whole team's gonna be on a redemption game. But I think they could take him, really. Like, from the other two matchups they've had up against them this year, it's been really close. So,
Yeah,
and
we've had some
Edmonton
low
is only,
scoring games too.
yeah,
You had
yeah,
that 12-11 game where CJ Sims took
mhm,
the
the knee,
touchback.
and yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of room for improvement that's been filled by the Elks. There's still lots there. But really, like, I there's still a chance at them making the playoffs. It's just gonna be a really tough road. They
Especially with the
got
crossover.
yeah, they got to
Mm-hmm.
beat out Hamilton. Hamilton is 5-6, I believe.
5-7, and I don't see
Five
them
and
winning
seven.
any more games.
Yeah, they've got a tough
They've
schedule
got
coming up
Winnipeg.
here.
They've got Winnipeg, Toronto, the Stampeders, which will be a close one, and they play the Rough Riders, the
Yeah.
Lions, and
Okay.
that's
So a pretty similar schedule to the Elks after the Rough
mm-hmm,
Riders here. They've got I know they have Montreal, BC, Toronto, and Winnipeg.
that's gonna
Montreal
be a
should
tough
be
one.
Yeah, Montreal should be. I mean, if they don't win, they don't win, obviously. But that's one that I think they should be able to win.
You've
Toronto,
basically got to get 7 wins to have a
not
chance, is what I think.
7. Oh,
7 wins.
to make the playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So really, I mean, they could probably beat BC at the top of their game if they can. If they can shut down BC's offense and continue to play some good four-quarter defense, which has been a struggle throughout the season, they can definitely
Hmm.
beat BC. It's just taking down BC's defense, which is probably going to be much easier than last time. Now that we've got Trey Ford, a really dynamic quarterback, quarterback starting, and
Yeah.
let's talk Taylor Cornelius. He's really been excelling at his new role here on the
Oh, yeah.
team.
The 1 yard line.
Yeah, I don't think he's missed one yet.
I
So
don't think so.
that's that's really good for him. I mean, he's being paid $150,000 to jump over a
Yeah,
couple of
once a
guys.
game.
Yeah, I
So
mean more than once a
congrats to
game
him.
now, but yeah, but congrats, Taylor. Hopefully you can pick up your game. Find maybe even beat out Trey Ford. I would prefer to see Trey Ford. He's just such a dynamic quarterback and so much potential. But I mean, all hope for Trey Ford or for Taylor Cornelius, and hopefully he finds a good place to play and that actually fits his style of play.
If the Elks decided to trade him, what do you think they could get for him? A third round pick?
Um, well, I mean they got rid of Arbuckle, so
Yeah.
if you could trade away Arbuckle, you could probably trade away Taylor Cornelius. I mean Taylor Cornelius. He like if you put it in retrospective, he's really not that bad of a quarterback if you use him in the right way, which
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton was not using him in the right way.
No.
Let's be honest here. We did not like honestly. I think he wouldn't be as good as Trey Ford if we played him like Trey Ford, but he would still play good. Trey Ford's
Especially if you got a good
running
O
style,
line.
yeah, and really the first game Trey Ford played, I felt bad for the guy because although he can escape the pocket, you can't escape the pocket when there is no pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw him get sacked multiple times that game because the O line could not consistently hold. And that was the same thing with Cornelius. Obviously, I kind of noticed he throws to the first receiver he sees and tries to
Doesn't
kind
really
of
read the
rush the play a
safeties.
bit. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't really wait. I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
a great thing in a quarterback, but on a quick play that you need, great thing, right? But there's again with every quarterback, there's lots of room for improvement. Um, but I'm sure Cornelius could eventually find a starting job somewhere, whether it's in the CFL, XFL, USFL, or
Somewhere.
even in somewhere. I'm sure he'll find a starting job that fits him right, where he can run and he really excels at running. Like if
Yeah.
they give him the chance, he can run. He can run. Not as good again as Trey Ford, but he can run. Like he really showed that last year against Saskatchewan in that win. He really showed
Yeah.
off his running skill, but bringing in uh, the quarterback coach to OC, the right move. I called it. Perfect move. Kind of bring some creativity into the offense. We already saw that. Already seeing that immediate effect with the trick plays, especially the Kyron
To
Moore
AC
to Steve.
Leonard.
Well, yeah, that one was from
Cornelius.
Cornelius
That one was
Leonard, and then the fake
unbelievable.
sneak. And actually, perfect time to call that. 2nd and 1. Screw that one
Mm-hmm.
up. You go
Then you
third
get
and
the
one, and
third
you're gonna get
down.
it, right?
Yeah. It was a great
But
call.
the jet sweep to Kyron Moore, passing that for an incredible catch by Stephen Dunbar. I really think they can only go up, or I mean, they can't only go up now. But they can. There's still a lot of room to go up, obviously, and um, they're only on the rise right now. Even the Labor Day game, um,
It was a battle right to the end.
yeah, exactly. That really just came down to penalties and playing 4 quarters of football. So, another question here for you, Jake, is what was the biggest difference you saw between the Labor Day game and the rematch?
I'd say the defense. I think the Labor Day rematch, the Elks defense really
Yeah.
showed up more of a way.
Yeah.
Like they were really good at keeping Stamps quarterback Jake Mayer in the pocket
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
the like in the Labor Day game, he had a lot more chances to run and a lot more chances to throw. He had 315
Yeah.
passing yards,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And
Yeah. Especially for a guy like Jake Mayer.
in the rematch, he had 210, which is a lot
Yeah.
better.
Well, I mean, in the rematch, we obviously did not even play 3 quarters of football.
No,
I mean, in Labor Day, we played 3 quarters, came out not on top. Rematch, you come out on top, you play quarter and a half.
I'd
Like,
I'd say like
I mean,
half of the first quarter and then the fourth
yeah,
quarter.
they came out booming, um, which is
But you
great to
can't do
see.
that against a team like BC. That's the
Yeah, you
thing.
can't do that. Yeah, you got to play 4 quarters against BC, Winnipeg, even Toronto, maybe even I don't know Montreal. I guess like you got to
I'd
play four
say,
quarters. But lots of room for improvement. But let's move on here because I can't get any
yeah,
more negative. I can't talk about them so much. It'll put me in a bad head place. Mental health is important, especially when you're talking about sports. Um,
of course. At least we didn't get blown out like the Giants did
yeah.
last night.
Oh my
That
god.
was that was
Oh my
brutal.
gosh. I didn't know you could lose that bad to America's team. I mean, obviously the Cowboys are always pretty good, but still.
Till the playoffs
That was
hit.
a disappointing game from the Giants, but we're not here to talk about the Giants. Let's move into our next segment. Who do you think is going to be sent
Changing
down
the
to the
script.
minors this year from the Oilers?
Ooh,
Because we've got how many? How many do we have this year? We have how many guys we got, including the PTOS? We got 14, I think, right? And obviously,
yep.
you're not going to be able to keep all those guys in terms of cap space. You're probably going to be running 20 players this year, 11 and 7,
I
or
see.
20 including our goalies, right? So,
Yeah, I see. Sutter won't make the team. Sam Gagne
yep.
will get a two-way at league minimum.
Okay. And then, so who do you cut or trade? Or, I guess, release,
Um,
buyout, which is not going to help too much. You got to trade a guy.
let's see. I think that they're going to trade. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. I
I
see,
see Yanmark. Yanmark's on the
yeah.
chopping block. Fogel's on the chopping block.
See, I have those guys making the team. I see Gagne and Sutter both not making the team, but Gagne getting offered a front office role. Like,
That would
I
be
mean,
interesting.
yeah, obviously, I think he still wants to play. He's coming
He's
off an
34 years old.
injury.
He'll probably want to go play
Yeah,
somewhere to live out
but
his last couple of
I
years.
think he'd be good to keep around the team.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like in Edmonton style, keep making up roles for the guys. But
Yeah.
um, you could, I mean, probably could trade away Kajula. I like having him around
Mm-hmm.
because he could probably, he would. There's a couple guys that are there to make the final spot on the team. Lane Peterson, Drake Kajula, Brandon Sutter, Sam Gagne. I mean, I can't see Yanmark getting traded. I think he's another
I
really
think
good
he's
guy to
just
have.
a
It's
third
just,
line center that'll just stay in there to play out his contract his last year.
yeah. I mean,
Fogle is it going to be
Derek
interesting?
Ryan's not getting sent down. Fogel. I mean, really, I'd like to see him stay. I'd like to see third line or fourth line, young line with Fogel, McLeod at center, and Dylan Holloway at right wing. I think that'd be a good line for some depth. I think that
Mm-hmm.
would be able to generate some scoring, especially with Holloway going into his, I guess, second NHL season. He got injured last year, so and sent down
Another
and
thing
got
I'm seeing
injured.
here is Warren Fogle for the role that he played. He was a +7 last year,
Yeah, yeah.
like
I mean, again,
with
he
28
doesn't really
points.
stand out to me, but sometimes a
Mm-hmm.
guy like that, he's not supposed to stand out. right?
Yeah,
He's not supposed to be the
just a,
first guy you notice on the ice. He's supposed to he's a role player, and he does a good job of that, right?
he does a great job of that.
Yeah. Um, it's just really like I like I like his play style, but it really just comes down to cap space. Um, really, I wonder if we could have signed a guy like Peterson or Kajula to a PTO instead of a actual contract.
Especially
That
Lane
might,
Peterson.
yeah, that would have given Edmonton a lot more space to make a guy like Gagne, give him an actual contract, and give one guy a contract to make the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, actually, do you see a guy like Campbell having a comeback season?
No.
No?
No, not at
Well,
all.
I do. Matt Cassian was talking about how on Two Guys and a Goalie podcast, he thinks Campbell will definitely have a comeback season. He kind of, it's rough adjusting to a city. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think he has had enough time to adjust. But, he really like if he doesn't have a great season, can't really trade him. I mean, maybe a team like Philly, you could do a 1-for-1 or or throw a couple picks in, which obviously wouldn't be great for Edmonton. They've traded away quite a few picks, but try and get Carter Hart in and do a
Another thing with
Swayman Allmark
Philadelphia
style.
is not going to go into the whole controversy, but if Carter Hart was included in that Team Canada thing, if he had a role
Yeah,
in that, he
yeah,
likely won't play for a while.
yeah. And I mean, Edmonton, like you saw with Kane, they give second chances here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we probably should stay off that topic.
Yeah.
It's not super positive, not a great look, not at all a good look for the hockey community, especially in Canada. It's definitely a
Should move
problem
off of
that
that.
should be talked about, just not on this podcast. So who's your bottom six for Edmonton this year?
I'd say you've got to
Or
make it consist of just based off of who they have right now. I'd say your bottom six is
or
Fogle,
even yeah,
McLeod,
yeah.
Derek Ryan, Connor Brown.
You got Connor Brown playing bottom six this year?
I think he's going to be on the third line. I don't see him on the second line.
I had him on the first line with McDavid.
Really?
Yeah, I
Well, you've
had him
got,
playing with his Erie teammate, and I really think that's why they brought him in, is to play with
yeah.
McDavid. But I mean, obviously, it comes down to preseason. He's coming off an injury. Played 4 games
Well, you've
last
got
year with the Capitals, so
You've got McDavid, you've got Draisaitl, who can also play on the wing. You've got Hyman, Kane, and Nuge. So it really comes down to him or Holloway, who plays on the second or
yeah.
first.
I had McDavid, Draisaitl at left, David at center, Connor Brown at right wing. Then our second line, Kane, Nuge, Hyman. Third line would be Fogle, McLeod, um, Holloway, like I said earlier. And then it's really 11 and 7, so bottom pairing would really Mark and Ryan. So
Yeah.
you're really kind of fighting to take Mark or even Holloway out of their spot on the team, on the roster. So
Any chance Burgo gets a shot this year?
well, I've only heard good things about him this year. I guess yeah, he's also one of those guys, one of the four guys trying to get on the team. Like
Hmm.
I'd like to see him up,
I think he'll get
maybe
a
not a
role like
whole
James
season.
Hamlin got last year, towards
Yeah,
like middle
exactly.
back end of the season where he got a couple of
Exactly.
games in there.
Yeah, injuries start to come into
Hmm.
effect. Um,
Around that trade
yeah.
deadline time,
Yeah, I could see him
maybe
coming
play
up for
like
them.
10
As long
games.
as he has a good season in Bakersfield, if that's where he ends up playing.
Yeah,
Which I could see. I see him playing in Bakersfield this year.
of course.
Um, yeah, I don't know, he's not the guy that I don't think he's ready to play a full NHL season yet.
He's only
Um,
19 years old, isn't he? Oh, he's
yeah.
20 now. He's 20 now.
Okay.
Turned 20 in October. He'll be 21 on the 22nd of October.
Oh, okay. All
Okay, he
right.
was
Yeah.
2021. I thought he was 2022. But
hmm All right. Let's skip on this. Let's go to hot takes or what? Um, Maciejko, you want to start us off? What's a hot take for you?
Connor Bedard will score 90 points and win the Calder.
Oh, all right. Well, my hot take's
Starting
about
it
to
off.
rival that one.
Starting it off
My
with
hot
a
take is about
hot
to.
take.
Oh my god. Oh. All right. Well, mine is. It's also Connor Bedard hot take. Connor
Okay.
Bedard will not play a full 82 games this season. He will either get sent back to the WHL
What?
or get injured. Like, really? Like, do you really like? Everyone calls me crazy for this one, but do you like McDavid got hurt in his first season? Do you really want to risk Connor Bedard getting hurt and maybe missing a bit of next season, the 2024-25 season? I would not take that risk.
Won't happen.
I
Okay.
mean,
You got
Edmonton
another
brought
one for
in.
us?
Give me a sec here. Oh, I just think here. I mean, Edmonton brought in Lucic to protect them, to protect McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
McDavid didn't even get like hit or anything. He went into the post.
I
Like, and
think
you know
that's the
how
role
often you
of
see
Nick
guys going
Foligno
into
this
the
year,
tendy.
though.
What was that?
I think that's the role of Nick Foligno this year, though.
Yeah, but still, like, does he really play a role
I don't
of
think he'll play a full
protector?
82 games because there's little things here and there, but
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
I think
All
he'll
right.
still play more than 70 games.
Yeah.
You got
My
one for
next
us, or do
one.
you want me to go?
You can go. You can go.
Moving off the topic of the NHL and into the NFL, the
Oh,
Seattle Seahawks will win 11 games this season.
no shot. No shot. No shot.
Okay, let me
Uh-uh.
explain. You've got a whole wide receiver core of JSN, Metcalf, and Lockett, who are all elite. You've got two running backs in Walker and Charbonnet, who are young and will develop a really good running back core. You've got Geno Smith, who had a rough first game but proved himself last year, and a completely rebuilt defense shaped around a secondary that's currently injured but is going to build itself back up towards the next couple of weeks and into week 5, week 6 when Jamal Adams is back.
All right. All right. Well, this one's gonna shock you. The Broncos have a winning season.
Nope.
Sean Payton, he's a great coach. I mean, it doesn't look too great after last game.
Let's go with
Against
an
the Raiders.
onside kick on
But
the first play of the
hey,
season.
hey, I respect that. I respect that. That's a ballsy move that I respect. Okay.
How long till Russell
Um,
Wilson gets benched for Jared Stidham?
it's gonna be a tight one. Um, but I think they pulled it off. I think
They've got
well, not
two
so much
good players
they,
on
but I
defense.
think Sean Payton could pull it off.
I
You
think
know.
Sean Payton hasn't coached a good team for a reason.
All right. Um, you want to go again?
I'm still thinking,
All right. Well, I've got it.
okay,
Matthew Stafford will be injured by at least we'll say week 6, done for the season.
yeah, that's a given.
Or he actually here's another going. He gets traded.
Oh, no, he'll get injured and call it a
He gets
career.
traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And that's it for 30 Minutes Inside Sports with Jonesy and Maciejko. Thank you for listening.